Very warm welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're just in time to catch us here on 3T TV, which is Thika's #1 online news channel, where as always we are telling the Thika story as it is. Today we are coming to you from location. We are shooting at Edgewood Country Place, which is a hotel and a restaurant that is located in Maboromoko, which is off Gatanga Road. Edgewood Country Place is your one-stop shop where everyone is catered for. From the corporates, you can hold a team building here, conferences as well. Individuals, if you have a wedding reception, a graduation party, they have some wonderful grounds as well. And the families have not been forgotten. They have a wonderful Toto's Corner where you can bring out the family on a Sunday for a family fun day. So be sure to check out Edgewood Country Place. Today I'm bringing you Countdown 2022. We are counting days, if not hours, to when you as a voter and as a Kenyan, you will get to exercise your constitutional rights to vote in the kind of leaders that you want. And today I have one such gentleman on set. He's going to tell us the dream and the vision that he has for Thika and which seat he is vying for. I hope that you as a viewer and as a voter in Thika, we will have helped you to make a more informed decision. Better yet, if you haven't subscribed to this wonderful channel, we will give you a good reason enough to. So let us dive right into it. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for making time to come.
Asante sana.
I know you're a bit busy. It's a bit last minute, but you made time.
Yes.
You're not new on this forum. But we'd like a brief introduction of who you are and your education background.
Thank you for that question. Maybe to the viewer, my name is Peter Mwenda Njagi, and an MP candidate, Thika Town Constituency, and a Safina Party. I'm number 7 on the ballot. And maybe to answer the question of my interview about who am I, my educational background, I was born 38 years ago at Mary Immaculate Hospital, that is at Kimathi Estate, and then I was born and bred in Ziwani Estate, what we used to call Jomafoska. It had those areas for Biafra, Ofafa, all those areas. I was born in Ziwani, that's where I was bred, and I proceeded to Atomaine Primary School. Thereafter, I went to Goodwich Primary School, and I finished my primary in Thika Primary. So mimi ni kijana wa mtaa. Thereafter I went to Moranga High School for my high school education. After that I proceeded to Strathmore University, where I did a diploma in business information technology, waiting to go to university. Then I proceeded to University of Nairobi, where I pursued Bachelor's of Laws, University of Nairobi, and completed it. Then I went to Kenya School of Law, did diploma in postgraduate diploma in law, and I got admitted as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Then I have other qualifications, Masters in Law from University of London in Criminology, Masters of Arts in Diplomacy from University of Nairobi, and a PhD candidate for Diplomacy. So that's my educational background, and I'm here because I'm a friend of 3T TV. And I'm a son of Thika.
You are. You definitely are a friend of 3T TV. You've helped us a lot. We've had other discussions about, in matters law. But the reason why we are here is something different. You mentioned that you are vying for a seat. You're vying to be the next member of parliament in Thika. Being a first-time candidate, why should people vote for you in light of your manifesto?
Thank you. That's a very relevant question in light to why the electorate should have an informed decision on the 9th of August 2022. And the question about that can be looked in the context of my history. I've been successful in my career, and I think I can translate that success to public office. I was the first batch to be elected by Justice Mutunga in 2016 as a court annexed mediator, and I was posted at Milimani High Court, where I've served as a judicial officer, particularly as a mediator, and I've handled successful cases in High Court to assist people to solve their disputes out of court. And I believe that skill which I acquired by public service, because the exchequer, which is the judiciary, is the one that pays me, can be translated to the office that I'm seeking. Thereafter, in my history, I was also the youngest advocate to successfully prosecute a case in the Supreme Court of Kenya, whereby I represented the estate of Mbioko Inange, and I acted for the first house. And I've been successful in many other spheres of life, which I feel that based on my history, that success and that energy that I've had, I'm willing to bring it to public service. But in a quick succession, if you look at my manifesto, it's not the copy-paste manifesto that you get from any ordinary politician who is seeking public office, who talk the ordinary things about roads, hospitals, and medicine. Mine is very unique. I have a 7-point agenda, which is good for my people to know. 1, I want to transform Thika to be the Birmingham of Kenya, the way it was, and have a clear manifesto and have a clear goal on how to go about it. The first question is a question about hawkers in town, and I know they also are brothers, but I'm of the considered view, if somebody has a shop and they are paying licenses, they are paying rent, and the other person then comes, what we call miariro, outside there, and the other person may not be paying those kind of levies, there may be unfair competition, which now the person in the shop and the person is putting their wares outside would cause that disparity. So the first thing is to clean up the town, and we should look for an alternative where our brothers and sisters who are hawking outside town, they can be placed so that the people who are paying rents and other levies are also able to enjoy the hard-earned labor. Secondly, upon such a cleanup exercise, we would ensure that the cleaning thing comes back to place by even putting simple things like dustbins. If you eat like an orange in town, you'll bear me witness, you will not even find a place where to throw that dustbin. It's a very simplistic manifesto, but which enables our people to live a good and decent life. Thirdly, I've been very clear on the question of youth empowerment. And I'm of the view that there is what we could set up in Thika, like a recording studio. That's why I want to be that MP who opens up that recording studio so that our artists, whether youth, whether elderly, whether those people with those talents, they can come, and it should be known as a hub for such kind of artists. And that's something that I'm very keen on, to empower our people. Because through that exercise, I will not only be giving them a fish, but I'll be showing them how to fish. Fourthly, because I told you the 7-point manifesto, is the question about the CDF. Remember, the CDF is where the cake is distributed for the constituency. And I've put 2 special seats. One is for the people for diaspora, because you remember that Thika is a cosmopolitan town, and I've said one person of the diaspora must sit on that seat, so that they can also have equitable say and equitable distribution of resources. The other thing is a question about what I call a special interest group of single mothers, because there is nothing as good you can give to a child like education. Even me, I'm a product of good education, and I've reached because of education. So I would wish the single mothers who are not able to pay their fees, they have one of their own to have their say in how the issue about the bursary is distributed. Fifthly, I've looked at the boy child, and there is a disparity in terms of we give so much weight to the girl child to the expense of the boy child. Remember, we have something like the youth fund, we have the women fund, even in Bunge we have special seats pursuant to Article 97 of the Constitution, what you could call women rep, to represent the women. But men have also been sidelined. That's why I want a fraction of my CDF to be channeled to what I want to call a men fund. It will be called Thika Men Fund, so that our men, primarily those who are aged 35 and above, we can start from that quota. They can easily come to the fund. They get some rebate in terms of how they can start their business. You can open your own kinyozi, you can buy your own boda through that fund, because I want to boost our men. Sixth is a question about national legislation, because the Article 97 of the Constitution spells out the duties of a member of National Assembly, and that's the office that I'm seeking. I've looked at the people who are in prison, and that will cut now across the board. There is some good work that was spearheaded by Uncle Mudi Awori about the refurbishment of our prisons. And I think I have the necessary impetus and necessary courage to bring necessary bills to be enacted into law. One I would like to do to our prisoners is to enact a law to advance conjugal rights in prison. Because I know as a lawyer, a case can take even 3-4 years before it's heard and determined. And that person, by them being incarcerated, they have no ability to be intimate with their loved ones. And that has caused a breakup in many families, because when the man is incarcerated and the woman now also has needs, he may have some visits, but they are not intimate. So I want to ensure, because this is a practice that has been done in other nations and developed countries like in America and in other developed countries, we should move from the colonial mentality that when somebody is incarcerated, they have no such kind of rights. Those are things that I would wish to be brought into law, and that's a conjugal rights bill which I'll be bringing into Bunge. Sixth is the question about our town. Our town has become landlocked because of the question about roads. You'll bear me witness that this Blue Post Road, it becomes a tall order for you to enter. So that if somebody now wants to do shopping, they're better placed to even do shopping somewhere like in Keno, which now makes our people in Thika not have access to business. So I want to expand this road for Blue Post and other feeder roads like in Memorial and Gatito. Remember those days when we used to go to college in Nairobi, the matatus could pass through Kaso, inatokea Wetaithi. There is nothing, it's not rocket science. The road had been mapped and it should be there. And that's something that I would wish to do. The other thing is about Katuanyaga and Goliba Ward, which I have a very keen interest on. I have done my campaigns door to door. I've done my peace campaigns around through the tracks, and the roads are in a very dilapidated state. What I want to do to Goliba and Katuanyaga wards, I know 100 million shillings was allocated to those roads, and that money is available. Because the first question should be mapping of those roads. There is a road which you could describe as Kenha Road and Kura Road through Kenya National Highways Authority and Kenya Urban Roads Authority. Because the money is there, all we need to do is to send somebody who knows and who is aware to go and knock at the relevant government offices for the money to be released, so that the people for Katuanyaga who have the stone quarry as their gold can easily access good roads. In the same breath, about Katuanyaga and Goliba, Thika River and Chanya River still has water. It has never run dry. And I want to address the question about water in this Thika, because I know there are water cartels who move around with water bores. Katuanyaga and Goliba, I want to put up a dam in Landless, so that now when you have that water which we harvest and collect, we can easily channel to our people in Katuanyaga and Goliba and the larger other Thika Town constituencies. All we need to do is enlarge the pipes so that the water can reach there. Remember, even if you think a borehole in Katuanyaga or Goliba, the water is a bit salty. So that for them to have clean and success water, we must ensure all things are done. And it's very easy through lobbying, it's very easy through government legislation, it's very easy through the CDA funds. I want to turn around this around and have a very concrete plan on how to execute my mandate and plan. That's by and large my manifesto. But as I close, the cost about business has also become a bit high, and I'm a son of Soko, Jamhuri Market in Hospital Ward. When I moved around, I talked to traders, and what I would like to do is to ensure at least the licenses go down. Those are things we can work with the MCAs in the respective areas through the county government, so that our people now are able to get meaningful business employment. Remember, Juliet, it beats common sense, whereby somebody running a kinyozi, one kinyozi, is being charged the same levy as somebody running a hall. What should happen, if need be, we can look at the size of your business, even square foot, so that if you're occupying a singular room, you should not be charged the same as somebody occupying a hall. But having a blanket payment is very, very punitive. The other question is about Madaraka Market and Jamhuri Market and Mokereti. I want to ensure that we have cabro roads in those particular areas, because it beats purpose. We have had several leadership before, but in the markets when I go around, the drainage is poor and the markets are in a very dilapidated state. So I want to put cabro in Mokereti, cabro in Jamhuri Market, cabro in Madaraka Market, and the stages for Madaraka and Township. Those are things that are doable. We just need good planning and good execution. That's how I'd like to be remembered. When, and I'm saying when, the great people of Thika give me that mandate on the 9th of August 2022.
Awesome. That was very well articulated. I like that you've touched everybody from the women to the men and the traders as well. Now, we need to give credit where it's due. Thika has had a wonderful member of parliament who has brought a revolution into this town. How different will Mwenda Njagi's leadership be as compared to your predecessor once the people in Thika give you the mandate to be the next member of parliament?
I'm happy you've used the word when, not if. So what I would say is the question about Thika Town Constituency should be looked at a very broad perspective. Remember, the two leading presidential candidates for Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, all of them have been talking about climbing Mount Kenya. What they don't tell you is that the footstool of Mount Kenya lies in Thika. So for you to go through Mount Kenya, you must pass through Thika. So you live in a very centralized and very unique place. The other thing I would like to observe is the intelligence and the information of our Thika people. Remember, in 2017, we elected Honorable Jango, who was an independent candidate, amid a very strong wave of Jubilee and TNA. And they give him that mandate. So in Thika, it should be the epitome of whereby we say, Nemo do Tikiyama. That is a very classic example for Thika. In light to the question about the Honorable Jango, what is done before, we must give credit where it's due. And I would wish to observe a few things which I've seen in my rounds, because I've had a program of distribution of water tanks. And those water tanks have been given to schools. And most of the schools have gone to I've gone to Kiboko Primary School, where I also assisted them in a feeding program. And maybe I'll talk about our children. I've seen the work that is done in terms of refurbishing the schools. So I would wish to pick up from where I started and build it upon more. Because remember, Juliet, if something works, you don't have to fix it, and I don't have to rubbish what is did if it is good. But I think there's some areas, because already has set up the roadmap, is for me to pick it up and harness it with my manifesto. And I would say 4 things that I think are wonderful, which he did, and I think I would like to proceed with. I've had a chance to go to Kamen Ward in Kemosho and Corner 3 and Corner 2, and I've seen the lighting program that he had. And those are things that I would wish to open up, like in Kamen Ward. Remember, like in Kamen Ward, we have 55,000 registered voters.
Yes.
And when you talk about one-man shilling, it was supposed to help like our people. That's why I would also wish like Kamen Ward to be split like into 3 wards, so that more resources can come. A gentleman like my friend Honorable Duare, who is an MP for Dujis, has 37,000 registered voters, and you can clearly see the disparity. Like an MCA for Kameno is equal to an MP, and that's why you see those people for bursaries, they get 50,000 a child, as you're getting 2,000, and those are the inequalities we need to address when we go to Bunge. The exercise of lighting I see which Honorable Jango has started is something I would wish to proceed with, and I think it's a wonderful thing that he's done. The other thing that I've seen he's done is a bridge for Ngoliba, which the people used to really suffer in terms of crossing the water. And what I would wish to do on that area is now harness, now that the bridge is there, is to ensure that the people from Ngoliba and Gatwanyaga now have water on their taps, and they are showering with a hot shower, courtesy of the Wasco when I'm in office. Because he's done the bridge, it's for me not to build up on it. Thirdly is a question about education. I've seen a few schools which are branded through his initiative, national government and CDF, and I would wish to build up on a few, particularly in terms of infrastructure, because some of the painting works are temporal, and I was of the considered view, if maybe our children now, since already the work has started, these classes could actually be enhanced. And a very good program or initiative which I want to do is to tap into our industrial town. Remember, Thika has been known as an industrial town. It's not difficult as a member of parliament. I have a program of adapt a school. I go to Bidco, I talk to Vimalcha, I tell him adapt Kiboko. Let's have Cabro everywhere. I go to Ken Blessed, I tell them adapt a school. They adapt Thika Primary. They do it. And all these people would be more than willing through their CSR, corporate social responsibility, to do it. But the people that have been there, or people that we have given that power before, they have not been able to tap into this goodwill that we have as a community and as a people. Lastly, which I would like to build on Django, is a question about the politics of tolerance, because you must give it to him, because you cannot clearly say that he's a volatile person, and that's the kind of politics I've been practicing, and that's what you've had in my campaign. I've not called names anybody. What I've been doing is to sell my Sarah, and that's something that I would wish to build on, and that should be the culture for Thika people, that you can still get to office without necessarily being volatile, because as your director usually says, is that after the 9th we'll still be brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. I like the continuity bit of it. You know what has been done, then you build on it and make it better. Please tell us your plans about the roads.
Thank you. Maybe the question about our infrastructure, I have two areas of concerns, particularly in Goliba and Gatwanyaga Ward. And I've told the people from Goliba and Gatwanyaga Ward that the way I would wish to be remembered as a member of National Assembly or member of Parliament is through improvement of that road network. Because the roads, Juliet, in that particular wards, they're in a very sorry state. And I'm aware that 100 million shillings was already allocated for that kind of an enterprise, because the question here is about mapping. Roads can either be under Kura, Kenya Urban Roads Authority, or Kenya National Highways Authority. And the question that is available now, or what we should be doing, is just to go and get those funds. They be allocated for our road network, because remember, like in Gatwanyaga Ward, their goal is a quarry. So if the road network is good, even now ease of transport and infrastructure will be enhanced. And remember, our people, we say, Nemo Ekweyedera. So if the road network is good, just like the way it opened up the bypasses in Eastern Bypass, the Northern Bypass, that's why other things mushroomed like Amakis and those kind of eateries. So if our road networks in Gatwanyaga and Goliba are opened, it should be the next frontier for Thika. And that's what I want to do, to ensure that those roads are tarmacked, they have well drainage, and also water is available, as I told you before, to improve good quality water. All we need to do, the Thika River and Chanya River are not dry. We can as well have a dam in Randless, so that when the water comes, we harvest and collect our water, and we distribute our water in those localities from Goliba and Gatwanyaga and the larger Thika wards. And that's what I would wish to do, so that every homestead has clean running water, and people have been able to take a hot shower through the Wasco. That's my plan for the area.
Talking of building on things and making them better, please tell us more about Mwenda Njagi Foundation. We've seen you doing a few things here and there, but you've quite never told us what exactly it is about, briefly.
So thank you so much about that question about my foundation. The foundation goes by the name of Mwenda Njagi Foundation. It is duly registered with the Ministry of Lands and sanctioned by the Minister or the Cabinet Secretary for Lands. And I would wish maybe for the viewer to understand the difference between a foundation and an NGO. Because an NGO, you're depending for goodwill from other quarters to come and support you. But for a foundation, I have to give my own resources and provide for real property, whereby the office should be known and also to give to the society. What motivated me to form the foundation was because I thought about an area in society or in community which I could empower. And I just chose one area because you must start from somewhere. And I chose the education empowerment, whereby I have supported children who are not able to access education or who have needs into education through that foundation. And I've also had a feeding program on a few schools like Kiboko, whereby I went and supported 150 students. Because like in Kiboko, when I went there, I was told each child, I think, pays 10 shillings a month.
Okay.
People from the slum areas, but now the child could come to school and they're not able to eat a decent meal. So I've supported them through that exercise. I've also done a few feeding programs like in Shalom School in Kameno, whereby there's people from that area of Kemosho, and I supported them through feeding programs and also paid some school fees for some ladies in KMTC and others who want to advance education and they cannot do. But also maybe to our viewer, I have some good news as well. I've been able to secure 50 scholarship from a university in Turkey, who through Mwenda Njagi Foundation are willing to sponsor 50 students from Thika who want to advance tertiary education through that particular program. So in the fullness of time, I'll be giving you the details and the letters so that any person who qualifies or would wish to proceed through that program can liaise with Mwenda Njagi Foundation, and we can give them an opportunity to seek that education in Turkey, but it has to be postgraduate. I also have to recognize Petan's driving school. Mr. Peter is my friend and my client. He had given me 20 slots during my campaign, whereby I had given a few of them to people from Thika who want to do driving course, free of cost, so that we empower people. And if I've been doing this, Juliet, when I'm not in office, you can imagine what I'll do when I'm already on the seat. It will be a great moment for Thika.
As we come to the end of this wonderful discussion, I'd like you to talk to the people of Thika and give them your parting shot.
Maybe before I give my parting shot is to sincerely thank you as my interviewer, Juliet, for creating time for me amid your very tight schedule, and the entire team for 3T TV. I'm grateful for this opportunity so that our people have an option or an alternative. My parting shot is that on the 9th of August 2022, our great people of Thika have a choice to choose between progress or retrogressiveness. Progress is number 7. And remember, even in the Bible and in the scriptures, 7 is a number of completion. So even if you don't remember anything else on the ballot paper, go and look Meli, Safina, Peter Mwenda Njagi, number 7 on the ballot. I am a safe pair of hands. I am equal to the task, and the job description of a member of parliament, I fit the bill, because every job has a job description. Even you as an interviewer, there's some test applicable. So those people that you're competing against, I think the job description is not for that particular person. That some have been tested and rejected. Some of them have also been entrusted with public funds, and we know what they did in terms of embezzlement or otherwise. Test me. I have been successful in my personal career and in my private practice, which I can translate that good skills to public leadership. It's only by you giving me your vote and entrusting me with that mandate on the 9th of August 2022 that you can make Thika great as we desire. Because sisi ni wana Thika na kuna mahali pengine tunaenda, tumezaliwa Thika. Kwa hivyo dako na jira yake teo mweri keda mweri wema na 2022 orika mere tu Peter Mwenda Njagi na bamu kwa jadhi wa ballot uhe kura yaku iduke mujube waku wa Thika Town Constituency. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That was a powerful parting shot. We as a 3T team, Thika Town today as a whole, we wish you all the best. And when you clinch the seat, we will be on toes. You know, I
promise a camera for 3T TV.
Thank you. That is awesome. Yes. I have taken notes and your agenda and manifesto. You know, we will keep you on toes.
Asante. Asante. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Peter Mwenda Njagi, who is vying to be the next member of parliament here in Thika constituency. The ball is now on your court as a voter. We hope that you will be able to make the wisest decision. And at this point, we'd also like to close the edition that is Countdown 2022. We want to thank each and every one of you, the aspirants that we as a team reached out to, and you know, they received us well and they agreed to come on board and give us their manifesto. We want to say a big thank you. And we can also not forget the management of Edgewood Country Place that has always welcomed us and allowed us to use this venue to conduct our interviews. I have been your host, Juliet Modoni. Until next time, take care.